So I'm reminded of the words of the wise wisdom band that is Drowning Pool. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let's talk about that. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Movie Emporium's movie review of Bodies, 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 the newest film from director Halina Reijn. So A24 is back. They're back with their 16,000 film in 2022. I'm kidding. I love you, A24. I actually do, because you're putting out great films this year. But Bodies, Bodies, Bodies is their new film. It's directed by Halina Reijn. And it's a film that's a horror comedy that actually stars a whole bunch of up-and-coming actors and actresses like Amandla Stenberg and Bakalova, and of course Rachel Sennott, as well as, people that have been around for a while like Pete Davidson. And believe it or not, I didn't know he was in this movie yet because I didn't recognize him, Lee Pace, who of course has been around for quite a while. And so Bodies, Bodies, Bodies is a film about individuals that are staying over at Pete Davidson's character's house, which is a mansion, for the night. There's a hurricane coming through. They're gonna party. They're gonna do what young kids do. And in the process, they're playing this game called Bodies, 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 which I actually see becoming a big thing if this movie becomes popular, where people go around and they act like they're being killed, but the killer has to be identified, as that individual who actually killed him. So if they get tapped on the shoulder, they're dead, and these individuals have to prove who killed him or her, I should say. But in the process, without spoiling anything, but to kind of, it's in the trailer, but they're not really spoiling anything, people do start dying in this movie, and they have to figure out who the killer is, and it leads on to kind of an exploration of who these characters are, where their friendships are, where they are in their life, and who is the killer, that type of thing. So it's that type of horror comedy in a lot of respects. So Bodies, 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 like I said, is a new film from A24. It's a film that I don't know if I was excited for, but I hear a lot of good things about. It, I think, premiered at one of the film festivals, got a lot of great reviews, and of course, has been kind of going through the circuits of release and limited release. But I have all my faith in A24. The people involved, they're all great actresses. Of course, Maria Bakalova just got an Oscar nomination. Pete Davidson's becoming one of those true Adam Sandler type comedians where he's garnering his status as he moves along. And people like Rachel Sennott, who was in Shiva Baby, and of course Amandla Stenberg, they're fantastic actresses that are really kind of getting to their own. So to say that I was really intrigued by this movie is kind of an understatement. After I watched the trailer, I'm like, cool, this could be a lot of fun. So I got the chance to see this. This is premiering in theaters, awesome. And what is my honest review of this movie? To be fairly honest, I'm not as big of a fan of this movie as a lot of people are. I know this has got a 98 or 96% on Rotten Tomatoes or whatever it has, but it's still an entertaining movie. It's still an A24 movie, so it's very offbeat and weird, but it's a movie with a lot of heart, to be fairly honest, which is really strange when it's a horror comedy. It feels like these individuals are just having fun. It feels like the director found a great cast to put in this movie, and you see how the antics start to spiral out of control in this movie, and I think it actually works pretty well. I think everybody's just kind of on point. I think Amandla Stenberg is really good in this movie. I think she is dealing with some interesting concepts and theories to her character development. I think Pete Davidson is actually pretty funny in this movie. He has a great kind of payoff to his character. And once again, I didn't know Lee Pace was in this movie, but when you see his character and you see who he is, it's actually quite funny, to be fairly honest. The other characters are kind of hit and miss. Maria Bakalova, I actually enjoyed in this movie, but she isn't what I call the most well-developed. And there's a couple other characters, Rachel Sennott, who I found really annoying in this movie, to be fairly honest. She's really good in Shiva Baby, but here she's just they're trying to make her character funny throughout the whole entire movie, and when the serious stuff starts happening, you don't really get a sense that she understands the magnitude of the situation. And I know when you're in shock and when things happen, you start to understand that people act differently in certain ways, but I really feel like she was just meant as a kind of plot device, as a comedic performance, and that is a kind of a problem. And the other two characters are just they're more just to be blocks in the way, I guess you could say, so that the other characters can move. But it is really smart to set this during a hurricane, because it allows the director and the cinematographer to kind of play with the storm, but also play in a much limited space with a smaller budget. So it's inside a house. You can use the rain effects from the weather. You could just kind of use the house in a Clue-like sense, where they, each individual room or location has something to offer. And I thought that was really cool. There's a really cool scene which is in like a gym or kind of a court, I guess you could say, when it comes to like a basketball court. And that's a lot of fun how that plays out. And just overall, I think I enjoyed this movie. I just think a lot of it is really convenient. A lot of the way it's placed is a little problematic in its storytelling. This is definitely a first-time directorial effort from a director, and it shows in a lot of respects. But I still think Halina Reijn is doing a really nice job as the director in this movie. I think she is able to get some good performances out of her actresses. I just think when you're shooting stuff and when you're kind of positioning your camera, I think it is a little out of focus and a little just kind of wonky. And I think the music is really weird in this movie, to be fairly honest. I'm not talking about like the music that they bought, like the actual songs and stuff like that. Those are fine. But like some of the score in this movie is just, it's out of place. It's just weird. And I know it's a weird movie, but it's just like, I don't think the composer and the director really had a sense of like how to place music in this movie, and that is can be a huge problem when it comes to like music and sound, which is really important in a movie. But those are like my major qualms. It doesn't take from the movie being enjoyable, and I think this is going to be a sleeper hit, like Everything Everywhere All at Once, for the younger crowd, because this is a movie that is, you know, about drinking, taking drugs, about partying, about, you know, sex and ideas of like people dying and stuff like that. So it's very much a, you know, a young teen, like young adult type movie. So I think this could be a pretty decent hit for A24. And on top of that, I don't know if Bodies is a thing, but if it isn't, it will become a thing, I think, in like the, you know, the TikTok space, because this movie is definitely a movie that deals with like, you know, the ideas of how people use social media and TikTok, you know, the whole idea of the gentle minions and stuff like that. It's that type of situation, and I think there's actually a moment that TikTok and whatever they use in this movie actually is used to perfection. It comes near the end, but it's used in kind of one of the most perfect things I've seen this year, to be fairly honest. But yeah, you can definitely tell there's an era of this director showing that the world that is, you know, youth and how technology is used nowadays is used to full effect in here. So with that said, that's pretty much where I land on Bodies. It's definitely a film with a lot of interesting concepts and conceits and stuff like that. So definitely check it out. I think you'll have a lot of fun, especially if you like horror comedies in a lot of respects. But with that said, that is going to be my take on Bodies. Thank you so much for watching. Comments below. Do you know about this film? Are you interested in seeing this film? What's your overall take on like horror comedies in a lot of respects? And with that said, yeah, let me know in the comments. So with that said, thank you so much for watching. And if you like what you see on this channel, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at the top to find out what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome. Hit that like button. And as always, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.